I guess it's still morning. Good morning, everybody. This is a state of emergency show, a conversation that we definitely need to have about the state of the city. We have so much going on, and I think that for too long we have allowed too many of our people in our community to be distracted by all of these distractions that are put out here by the city's administration, by these people who absolutely refuse to believe that what their lived experience is, what they see is what they see, and what they know is what they know. Where's the mayor at? We got streets flooding. We have people with water up to the top of the steps of their basements. None of it is a surprise. We have people stalled on the freeways, stalled under viaducts. This is what always happens, right? This is what has happened since the inception of this new administration, and it happened before that, but since this new administration, where's the leadership? Where's the mayor? You out there in Novi or in Northville, wherever you at with your friend for Make a Date? Is that where you at? Because so you don't have to endure the experiences that we have here in the city of Detroit. Where is he? I went on a Facebook page for the mayor, not one word. Not one word. While you have people who can't even get out of their homes, people who have special needs, people who have who are experiencing health conditions, they can't even get out of their homes. And how are the EMTs and the ambulances gonna get to them? Where you at? Not one word. Haven't heard a damn thing from him. You know why? Because he probably not here dealing with it. How much are you gonna take? How much more can you take as a Detroiter for somebody to sit here and to continuously take your tax dollars, right, and hand them over to contractors who live in the suburbs so they can live a better quality of life, to sit up here and put them into streetscapes that you don't want, to come in here to get new signage to rename your community, you know, all kind of boom foolery. And then we have the city council. You know what Tuesday is, people? Tuesday is the day the city council supposedly is going to approve or oppose the proposal from the mayor's office on how to spend a good portion of this $424 million in federal tax dollars that are supposed to go where? To you, to help in your neighborhoods. How about this? How about if you spend the money on updating the infrastructure so we stop some of this flooding that we have? How many times are y'all gonna keep putting stuff back down in your basement when you know it's just gonna get flooded? How many times? I'm just wondering. I know we're resilient people, Detroiters are. I know we're supposed to be built for tough, but at what point is enough enough? I just want to know. Are we just gonna just sweep this under the rug once you can find a rug because it's flooded, it's up under so much water you can't see it anymore? What is city council gonna do on Tuesday? You gonna approve that proposal? Because it was a big debacle last week. Councilwoman Lopez did ask to push this back for another 2 weeks. Well, of course, you know, she was outvoted. They sent this committee. Of course, it's coming out of committee, and it's gonna be at the committee of the whole on Tuesday, which is why we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow at 2:00. Because I don't care how in the hell we feel about each other, we're going to have to come together on this one and decide a couple of things that we are going to demand happens with this money that we can agree upon across this city. Because they're about to take this money and extend the doggone Riverwalk. They're going to put in streetscapes, more bike lanes. They're talking about for neighborhood improvements, that's to take down garages and dead trees. So you come into our neighborhoods and that's the best that you can do. And your first round of money is $424 million. How's that going to work out for us? If we have a city council that will have the unmitigated gall on Tuesday, after what we see out here in these streets today, to approve that proposal, now you know what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to do. If the city council approves the proposal from the mayor, and I'm going to put it out there for y'all tomorrow at 2:00, only 40 of us, about 40 of us can meet in person. The rest of you will have to be on Zoom. So if you're interested, you need to inbox me or text me if you want to come to the meeting. I will have a one-pager and everything for you to better understand how they want to spend this money. I want you to take a look at these pictures on Facebook. I want you to look out your window. I want you to go look in your basement. And I want you to tell me if enough is enough. See, this is what always happens, but too often we forget because they build a nice new building, or they put another playscape at the Riverwalk, or I ride my bike, so I need a bike lane. You don't need a bike lane wide enough for a car to drive down, people, is what I'm telling you. How did these things become priorities in the city when we still had those wooden boxes up underground that's supposed to be supporting the systems for the water system? In 2021, wood. It's made out of wood, protecting part of the water system. The fact that city council continues to improve the mayor's request for increasing his budget, and he got an ex-police officer running the water department, and you gonna tell me that you think that this man deserves to have more money for what? This is what you're doing. Every year we hear about, well, we have to have water. You gonna install bike lanes and put bus stops in the middle of a street where they speeding up and down the street and it's just stupid anyway. But that's what you gonna do first, right? That's a priority, but not fixing these pipes going into the people's houses, not fixing the main sewer lines. That's not a priority. It's a priority for you to go build up buildings, give them away to everybody else. We just flooding. You know what's flooding in these streets? It's neglectful and failed leadership is really flooding the streets of Detroit. I can't wait to see what they're going to do on Tuesday. If anybody on that council supports what Duggan is proposing on how to use this first 424, you shouldn't have been supporting it anyway. All right? He got some exorbitant amount of money that's going to go to administrative costs. Oh, wait till you see this one pager tomorrow. He want to hire for a couple $1 million a consultant to make sure that they managing the money correctly. Well, what the hell is the city council for? And what is the office of the chief financial officer for? Now we going to go pay a consultant? We going to pay another consultant to locate affordable housing. I just want you to process this, and $50 million without a blink of an eye, they want to put into the Joe Louis Greenway off the river. Well, if you want to invest into a waterfront, go out there and invest in the neighborhoods, because it looks like a waterfront now. Everybody got their own mini island now, especially on the east side. Now, you east siders, y'all are always repping how you don't buy no BS. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What Marvin Gaye say, make you want to holler? I need you to holler. That's what I need you to do. I need you to stop all of this sitting on the sidelines, okay? Being real quiet, some of you. Now, some of y'all, you be standing right there with us, raising hell to the mountaintop. Thank you very much for having a backbone. But I want to know what you're going to do. Let's take a caller. Good morning. Hey, T.
Good morning. I'm reading, I'm looking at all these pictures, and I think each one of us can go back in 2014 and pull those pictures up, the same thing that's happening right now. What people should be understanding is communities, not just Detroit, but we're going to use this overall, Southeastern Michigan, got money to repair what this caused in 2014, to repair everything that was messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? This 2014, so it's not like this was 50 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
We just went through this in 2014. I stayed downtown 2015, right there at Jefferson and St. Albans, and I know it's been a water main damage going down that street for years because it fell through. Detroit is full of patching. The money has never been used appropriately. But see, this time, they can't blame it on Kwame, because in 2014, who was mayor?
That's right, Duggan.
Who was sitting on city council? Ask them, what did they do with the money? Because now it's telling on itself. It's telling when all that money that they appropriated from the last time this happened, that they got FEMA money that's supposed to have been used for the water authority, not to fix pipes and stuff. So this wouldn't happen. We supposed to have been prepared.
That's right.
Let's talk about that. I'm not talking about who did what. These are straight facts. Just posted the article. I'm pretty sure a lot of us can go back in 2014. I'll give you the date that this happened and can show these same pictures that we are showing right now.
Same ones.
There is no accountability. See, the funny part, I'm looking at all these commercials talking about that charter. It's funny because they're talking about funding the charter. The city council has to approve any type of funding.
That's right.
So if they cannot afford to pay this committee or whatever, if this is, like they say, it's a stipend, whatever, if they can't, or if they can, but it'll be set forth from them, not from y'all, not from the residents, from the people that we elect.
Because you know what's gonna happen when the water finally, dries up. You gonna have them telling us how we incurred more of an expense, right? To get out here and wait. No, then they're gonna try to charge the taxpayers. What I'm saying is that now, according to the mayor a couple of weeks ago, he claims that they won't put the money into. Hold on, I'm hearing a squeaking. What is that? Okay, they're saying that they won't put the money into the water system, because the water system is getting their own pot of money. Well, I've been looking high and low. Well, where is this pot of money at? Where is it? There is nothing under the federal guidelines that I have seen that says that they can't use some of this money to improve and update the infrastructure in the neighborhoods for our water system. I haven't read that under the federal guidelines.
I want to know, what did they do with the last set of money that they were supposed to do what you're saying right now?
Right.
There's no accountability. That's just 2014. We're not talking about 30 years ago, okay?
Yes.
We're talking about under the same administration, the same two people was in place when this happened before. We're not talking, I'm not even going, I'm talking about right now, this particular subject. I'm not talking about where that money that's coming here, what they can do. No, they should be doing something else with that money. We need to know what y'all did with the money to fix this stuff. Taxpayers been paying on however. Landlords, everybody, regardless of the side, it ain't no side right now. Because we need to know what you did with this money that was supposed to fix this, so I won't have to have this expense again in 2021 that I had in 2014.
That's right.
All that other, we don't get to that. But I'm talking about this right now. These are facts. I don't care if you live in Pound Woods, you stuck. If you live in the gutter, you stuck.
Yeah.
Because the gutters is full. So this ain't about, this is about, what did you do? They pay all them taxes over there. Ask them, what did they do with the money? So y'all like giving the money, you just give your money away, huh? Y'all say people don't pay, y'all paying, and you still can't get the service.
Well, first of all, wait a minute, let's be clear. And then in addition to that, you have people who live in Indian Village. You have people who live in West. Wait a minute. You have people who live in West Village, right? And I mean, and they're paying an exorbitant amount of property taxes. And I mean, their houses cost a lot of money over there. Let's just take those two areas. And they're constantly having flooding issues over there. I'm going to tell you something. There are certain pockets of the city that should not support this current administration. I don't care who else is on the ballot. Just because of that. I mean, how much longer are you going to allow somebody to bring you some damn sandbags talking about to prevent some of the water from getting up so high, when what they should be doing is taking the money that has already been allocated, that is here, and fixing the infrastructure? Like, how do you allow somebody to make such a fool of you? that you will take some sandbags for hundreds of millions for billions of dollars, right? When you add it up, because they've been doing this at least since 2014. How do you allow somebody to make such a fool of you that they can give you some sandbags instead of fixing the problem? Now, these supposed to be smart people, okay? They supposed to be have a high level of education and everything, but I think some of them, not all of them, might be educated fools.
Exactly, I agree, because if you go down Alta Road, you go down Alta Road, you see sandbags. Them people been catching HELL over there for years.
Yes.
It was flooded over there so bad that people couldn't even walk through. You couldn't walk. You couldn't do nothing. So I definitely agree, but I want to know, since they're the taxpayers over there, what did they do with the money? Because obviously something has to give. Something hasn't been done. What did you say you did and you didn't do? You know, you're tearing up the roads here. We're gonna fix the roads. You patch them up. Open the door for your mom. You patch them up. You say this is gonna be.
Oh well, you can give that up, because that paste that they use on the roads now, you know that's just gonna lift all the way up with all of this. But this is another thing I want.
Now we got. Oh, here we go again. But you got all this construction.
And then they're gonna get more money. They're gonna hire the same contractors who did the shabby work to come back in and to do some more patching. Right. Right. Right.
It's not being fixed, but I'm gonna let you go.
All right, thank you. Talk to you soon.
All right.
So what I want to know is, again, is enough for you this time? I know some of us understand exactly what it is. And come hella high water, and we got high water right about now, we be doggone if we gonna give our vote away to somebody who has shown us time and time again who they are. But I want you to think about this. When babies get shot, you don't see the mayor, right? When people are stuck in their homes due to, and I don't want to just call it a natural disaster. I think that this is a man-made disaster, because they have known the entire time that this is what happens. Think about it. By the time we get 2 inches of rain, really and truly, they might as well send the police and the fire department, everybody else out there, the county, need to start blocking off the freeways and blocking off these county roads that are in our neighborhoods, and the city should take a part of the other, because you know that this is going to happen. And the reason why I call this a man-made disaster, okay, it's a Duggan disaster, because he has taken so much money out of our coffer, federal funds, public tax dollars that are supposed to be invested into improving the conditions and the infrastructure in our neighborhoods and in these streets, and instead he just take the money and he do what he wants to do with it, as if it's his own personal banking account. This is what the problem is. Yes, we can't stop the amount of rain that has come down, but what we damn sure should be able to have a voice in is the fact that we shouldn't have all of this flooding. Now let's talk about how they charging us for this. Now all of y'all know your water bill about to go up. It's gonna rain. It rained yesterday. It's gonna rain today. It's gonna rain tomorrow. The next day. The next day. The next day. For the next 5 days at least, it's gonna rain. At least. Then we're supposed to get a break on Friday, and then it's gonna start raining again on Saturday. Just process that. Just process that. And look at what you have after 1 day of rain. The same thing we always have, right? Who gonna pay for that? Because right now, we pay for the water that comes from the sky. Now, y'all see what that water came from the sky too, and it's gonna keep coming from the sky. So who gonna pay for all of this rain that we're about to get? Us? Is Wayne County gonna pay the city some money since it rained on Wayne County roads? That's a question. Are the Illages gonna pay for all of this rain that's falling on right there in front of, all around the Little Caesars Arena, the Fox Theater, and all of they open parking lots? Are they gonna pay for that? Will the Ford family pay for the money all around the train station and all around Ford Field? I just want to know who's gonna pay for all of this rain coming from the sky. Or will it be you and I to supplement that cost? Huh? Is that what's going to happen? Nobody wants to talk about that. See, we're going to be hit from all different directions. And again, I'm telling you, this Tuesday, City Council is supposed to vote on whether or not they're going to support the proposal from the mayor. And tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a meeting. And I'm telling you, don't come to this meeting with no BS. And I mean it. I don't give a damn if we don't like each other. We can go right back to not liking each other when we done. But we're going to have to come together and stand united on making some demands on how they're going to spend this money. And I'm serious about that. If you come to this meeting with any BS, you're going to get put out. Or either you're going to get cut off if you on Zoom. Period. And y'all all know I have no problem with making sure that happens. We have a very short window to identify 4 ways we want to see this money used. And I know one of them, after what we see again today, because you know, y'all need a reminder. This is why the Lord sending all of this money, because you always want to forget. Every time they build a new restaurant, you forget that your basement gonna flood and how they supposed to be fixing the infrastructure. You know what some of y'all remind me of? Not y'all who get it and refuse to bend for the bull crap, but the rest of you who get all happy. Well, I mean, the city does look better. You know what? That's like saying that I painted a room and the roof is leaking right into that room. Well, the room sure look better with this new paint, but I didn't fix the hole in the ceiling. That's the same thing. How do you keep letting him build new restaurants and new streetscapes? All of this bull crap. He take out the old lights and put in the new lights, and they worse than the old lights. But then you the same ones who talk about, well, they don't have to deal with that in the suburbs. You know why? Because they have standards. And you know what your problem is, for those of you who keep going along to get along, is because your tolerance has exceeded your standards. You tolerate too much crap. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? They creating all these new restaurants downtown, half of them boiling chicken and putting bacon jelly on everything. The food not even as good as it used to be when we used to have most of them whole. They don't even have any salt hardly on most of the restaurants. Now, we do have some good ones down there, you know, like Savannah Blue and some others. We do. Some of them still gonna cook well. But I'm saying for the most part, you don't even like that food down there. Then you can't even hardly get any decent shopping. Then you surely can't get any entertainment. Then they want you to pay $20 for a hamburger at the townhouse, and it don't come with fries. Stop it. Then they slap up a grocery store on the corner, right across from where? The Coleman and Young Municipal Building. And Lord, let me tell you something. You need to take your last drop of blood, okay? You need to take any assets that you could cash in at the pawn shop in order for you to buy a drink, like a juice or anything out of there. Don't try to get a salad or something from the bar. It's just crazy. I want you to know where your money is going. But because it's something new, we're so distracted. Don't get me wrong. We should have a good downtown. We absolutely should. We should have a nice downtown. But how nice is it if you can't get in your car and park and walk around at least within 1 mile and get good food, entertainment, and shopping? I'm just saying. How good is that? You got to drive and drive and drive and drive, and then they're going to give you a ticket. Because, you know, they have these zones, right? It's not like you can move from meter to meter. I just want you to think about how they have taken our money. Because remember, they took that money and they created this new meter system where you put in your license plate. But then they told you this is what they have in the suburbs. The suburbs make you put in your parking space. This is how your money has been used. Meanwhile, you're going to keep spending money to replace the stuff in your basement. What are people supposed to do about their cars? I'm waiting for Elena to call in. She said the back of her car on the floor has water in it. And she has water all the way up the steps to her basement. Now, that's in Southwest Detroit. You know, right down the street where they got those $600,000 condos that Elena keeps talking about. Right there. Yeah. And another thing, you know, I'm just speaking to you new white folks who come in here. I'm speaking directly to you who come from the suburbs. Those of you who've lived in the suburbs all your life. What's the point of us letting you move into our neighborhood if you're not going to make nothing better? Now, you know good and well you wouldn't tolerate this type of crap out there in the suburbs, but you come into the city and the only energy that you have to oppose anything is you oppose everything that's good for us who've been here, but you don't oppose a doggone thing down there at city council or in the mayor's office. So what you come here for? I thought that y'all had a certain standard and quality of living from the suburbs, but you come in here and you tolerate all of this mess. See, you ain't doing us no good. This why people get mad when you move in, because all you do is increase the property taxes and all kind of stuff. Then you get all indignant and everything, want to know what we been doing here. Some of y'all, that's how you act, though. That's just how you act. Now, I'm telling the truth, and you can get mad about it, but deep in your heart, you know I'm telling the truth. The rest of you will kind of speak up and stand with us. But some of y'all, you knew white folks coming from the suburbs. I expected more from you. I really did. I thought that y'all was going to at least get some stuff in order. Now, I know you might come and take over, but I thought you was going to bring some of those same standards and quality of living from the suburbs into the city. And instead, you want to holler about dog parks. We don't need you in here hollering about you want some more dog parks. We need you to go down there and tell that leprechaun on the 11th floor that he need to get his sugar honey iced tea together or to get out of here. Now, that's how you going to be a good citizen and you can contribute to the community. We don't need you coming up in here creating no more organizations, okay? We don't need you telling us, oh, well, I want another farm or God. We don't need you trying to get on the city bus with your billy goat, because you know we got that man who want to walk up and down the street with his billy goat. That's not what we need, okay? We need you to come in here and do something substantive, okay? Tell the mayor, since you love him so much, to fix the infrastructure. Do that. We'll stand with you. I will. Do something substantive. Tell him that you be damned if he gonna take a couple $1 million and invest into an affordable housing city locator. Tell him that you'll be damned if he's going to take this money and he's going to invest in the most of it in administrative costs. Tell the mayor and city council that you'll be damned if you see another streetscape before he fixes these drains and these pipes in your neighborhood. Tell him that. Stop trying to organize with that Sheila Murphy, okay? Sheila Cockrell Murphy. Over there trying to kick black kids out of PAL. Don't waste your energy on that, white people from the suburbs. That's not what we need you to do. The reason why it's such a divide and you see us looking cross-eyed and sideways when you come moving into our neighborhoods, because we won't think that you're going to make sure that we get any benefits with you coming here. This is what we need you to do. We need you to speak up. You know, you Karens out there. Now, let me tell you something about y'all. You got a lot of nerve. Y'all got a whole lot of nerve, okay? As my daddy would say, you got more guts than chitlins. Some of the stuff that y'all say, but instead of you thinking you gonna come and you gonna change us and tell us what to do and take over, I want you to channel that same energy and go downtown. I want you to go to the 11th floor and the 13th floor. Because see, they listen to y'all. Even if your address on your license don't say Detroit and you can't vote here, just because of who you are, they listen to you. Go down there and do some of that. Because right now in this day and age, we don't have a Noah to get everybody on the ark, and we don't have a Moses to part the Red Sea. So we're going to need you to channel your energy and do something productive. All right? Otherwise, stay out the way. Don't say nothing. Okay? Just don't say nothing. Because this right here today, I don't want to hear nothing else about the Charter Commission is lying. Who lying to whom? I thought every neighborhood had a future. I thought all of this money was going to go into neighborhood improvement. Remember that? Isn't that why he bamboozled y'all into supporting proposal in? He said, because these are neighborhood improvement dollars, is what he said. But he didn't tell you about that $80 million bond, that neighborhood improvement bond that they had sold right before the election in November, when he convinced y'all that we needed to take out another bond for $250 million that we're going to pay back almost $500. I'm just telling you the truth. He didn't tell you that. No. Just like on these ARPA so-called 25 meetings. Oh, let me tell you what the deputy director, what is she? The deputy chief financial officer, Tanya Stoudemire. Now, this was her pitch to the city council. Well, the mayor has engaged more than 3,000 Detroiters in these meetings. And, you know, he has done some extensive work to find out how Detroiters want these ARPA funds, these American Rescue Plan dollars, to be used. I say, now, if she not about nickel slick. So you mean to tell me that we don't know that some of the same people logging on to multiple meetings? You gonna tell me that we don't know that a lot of those people on the meetings are definitely from council and from the mayor's administration? Quit trying to act like, and you the mayor. You only engaged 3,000 people. What are you talking about? $424 million on the table? That's a fail. That's an F. That's enough. That's enough. And then you're going to get a double F because you want to tell people what categories they can pick from. Who the hell are you? How is it that the federal government up here, they said, listen, we're going to send these cities across the country so much money to basically help fill in the gaps. We know that there are deficits in every city due to the pandemic. There are some issues that need to be resolved, some gaps that need to be filled, right? To help support the people who live in these cities. That's what the money was for. And it's based off the population and the need, right? That's why we receive so much money. It wasn't because the mayor is such a genius and he's a great negotiator and he was able to go there and get so much money. No, that's not why. He has nothing to do with it. The money came here from the federal government and who's up here. Now you got this joker way down here, this leprechaun. He gonna hoodwink you into believing that he can tell you to only pick from 4 different categories. And then this is how slick he is. When he done, he gonna tell you, well, which one is lowest on your priority list? So now we can't even get all 4. And then when you listen to the presentation to city council, well, you increase neighborhood investments from 20 million to 30 million. Now this across the whole city, right? So you're talking about maybe $2 million each district, you know, by the time they get done with administrative costs. In neighborhood and restoration, that's what it's called, neighborhood restoration. And that includes removal of dead trees and garages. So I just want all of y'all to think, I don't care what district you live in, I don't care what community you live in. When you think about how, number one, out of almost $1 billion, let's start off with the first wave, 424 million. So out of $424 million, somebody is going to tell you that they want to put 20 million into neighborhood restoration and 50 million into a Joe Louis Greenway so you can ride bikes and walk along the river. I'm telling you, they don't care about you and they playing you for a sucker. You ought to be suckered out. That's all that I'm telling you. Make that make sense. You know who wouldn't tolerate that? Folks in the suburbs. You know why they don't try that on them? Because they know they're not going to tolerate it. I don't care if you go out here to where these trailer parks are. You look at them trailer parks, let me tell you something. They be the biggest ones out there fighting in they doggone community meetings because they're not going to tolerate this type of mess. Why should you? Why should you even have a city council where they should consider? Let me tell you what that Scott Benson said. Scott Benson said in a meeting, well, you know, I believe that we do need more money into, you know, the neighborhood restoration, home repair program. Now, everybody was saying they want to see more money into the home repair program. Me too. But then the deputy CFO, Tanya Stoudemire, said, well, it's only so much money we could put in there. And then, we might have to find some other money, where it could be a loan. Here we go with these loans. Why do we always have to take out a loan when the money is here in the form of a grant that we don't have to repay? How did we get to getting a loan? How is that? Explain that to me, because I don't understand it. So Scott Benson agrees that we should have more money into the home repair program, which was that 100 million? I have to go back through my sheet. That might have been 20 million too. However, I don't care if it's 100 million. Let me just tell you something. That's not enough money not to go across this city, because don't forget, they took $300 and something million from us in federal money before that we should have been having for federal for grant money for home repair loans. You owe us. So those homes that were not able to access those dollars because they wanted to reallocate it to something else, those homes are now in worse condition years later because nobody had the backbone to say, no, leave those people's money alone so they can fix their house before they end up being in worse condition. I'm just saying that just would make sense, but that's just me. Okay? Like, we have to prioritize the needs of Detroiters. And Detroiters don't need you putting money into no Joe Louis Greenway to ride no bikes and to be able to walk along the river, when I keep telling you now, just about everybody over here got a river in front of their house. Now all of y'all got a river view. You got a lake view property. All of you have a lake view property and you didn't even purchase it that way. And so Scott Benson doubles down and also says that, and we should take the money. But I do believe that we're going to need to open up some of these contracts. Yeah, some of these contracts or these funds to people who are non-Detroiters. Y'all need to do something in District 3 now. I done told you. You better get the right names in or something. You need to stop it. You have a council person worried about us sharing our money that has been allocated just for Detroiters with some people who are not Detroiters. Let me tell you why that doesn't make sense. Here's a news flash. Every city receives some of this money. Dum-dum. Why don't you tell them people who don't live in the city of Detroit, who are not Detroiters, to go get the money from their own city? How much of the money from the West Bloomfield do you think is going to come to Detroiters? I'll wait for that. Royal Oak Township not going to give you no money either, and they small. How much of that money from the suburbs? How many council people in the suburbs or in the township are going to make a statement, well, we need to make sure that we give some money to non-Bloomfielders or whatever they call themselves? I just want to know. Oak Park not going to do it. Ferndale, Royal Oak. Nobody's going to do that. But here we have an administration, a city council person that felt confident enough to make that type of statement. You know why? Because our tolerance exceeds our standards. We make sure that we tolerate so much bull crap that we fail to have real standards. This is why. And he's not worried about losing his election. You know why? Because what I just told you. I just want you to know, like, today, because you can't get on the freeway, today, because, your car started, you're going to have to wait, I don't know how many ungodly hours. Lavish, if you still on here, what's the wait time for somebody to get their car picked up right about now? Because he out here towing cars. It's just such an inconvenience that didn't have to be. And again, I looked on the mayor's website. I didn't see a word about what Detroiters are experiencing, but probably because he's not in Detroit. He's out there in the suburbs, either in Livonia, probably not there. He's probably out there in Novi, Northville, wherever they caught him on tape. And I'm quite sure the streets are dry and everything out there. And even if they're not, they're going to hurry up and fix it. But aren't you supposed to be here? And so I don't blame Duggan for that, but I am going to tell you who I do blame. I blame this city council, because you're going to come right back to work on Monday, the majority of you. You're not going to say one word, and you should say something. You should say something about what Detroiters are enduring and how the mayor's administration has failed to address the issue. Because, see, I'm not going to buy none of this garbage coming out in the evening today or coming out tomorrow or them holding a press conference on Monday. You late. You late. People been going through this all night. And here it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. You're late. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And somebody from city council ought to speak up against it. And anybody who raised their hand on Tuesday to support this proposal from city council, I'm telling you, I don't care if it's your mama, I don't care if it's your daddy, I don't care if it's your child, I don't care who it is, I don't care if it's somebody who gave you a liver transplant. You need to vote against them, is what I'm telling you. I don't care. Or if they sit there in silence, vote against them. Because, you know, all of this being quiet in the corner, see, that's how they out slick you too. And everybody has to show up because it's virtual for city council. So I need y'all to increase your standards. This is too much. You cannot continue to tolerate this type of treatment and disrespect. You can't. And when they bring you, this is for the folks on the east side, I'm gonna end with this. When they bring you those sandbags because it's flooding, you know what you should tell them to do with them sandbags. No, I'm just telling you. Stop smiling and singing their praises because Duggan sends out district managers and everything to bring you some damn sandbags. How many times are they going to bring you sandbags before you tell them you going to sandbag their boss from being able to be reelected? And that's the beginning and the end of it. You have to have some type of backbone. My heart goes out to those of you who have been living with a hole in your roof for years, and they took your money and they gave it to some suburban contractor. And now I can only imagine the condition of your home today. My heart goes out to those of you who house smell like dog crap or cow manure, because you know what, you got sewage coming up out the yin yang in the basement because the city, the mayor decided to take your money and do what he wanted to do with it, and it was supported by a majority council. My heart goes out to you who really can't afford real auto insurance, and now your car is flooded and you probably don't have the money to get another one, you know, because Duggan tried to fool people with that D insurance. Didn't have nothing to do with him. My heart goes out to those of you who really need to get out the house today, but you can't, and you don't have a speedboat in order to be able to navigate through your neighborhood because now you live on a waterfront property and you thought you was just living in the neighborhood. Look at that. But these people paying all this money, y'all, for these waterfront properties, and now y'all done got one for free. And it's going to be like that for the next couple of days, though. So probably for a whole week, you could tell everybody, shoot, I live off the waterfront. Go figure. Just think about that. They give you what you don't ask for, but when it's something that you really and truly need, they know where to be found. That's a problem. And at what point are you going to say, screw this, I'm worth more than this, I deserve better? So leave you with this too. Go find your mayor, see where he at, and get ready for a meeting tomorrow at 2. Like I said, if you're interested, let me know. Only for us to be able to really social distance in this big space, only about 40 of us can meet in person. I will have handouts letting you know how they're proposing to spend this money, because I want you to be able to speak to council in specific line items and tell them, go screw yourself if you support this. You need to stop being so nice. See, they talk about me and say, oh, well, you don't have to be so harsh. No, you don't have to be so passive. These folks got the knife to our people's throat. You're going to take 424 million and you're going to let this jackal sit up here and just run roughshod over people while they sitting up here and their houses are flooded and their streets are flooded? Give me a break. Don't talk to me about an approach. And y'all stop falling for it. Stop falling for it. But if you don't want any better, then that's okay. If you want to continue to be in a domestic violence situation where somebody just constantly abuses you, takes from you, but tell you that they love you and they gonna do better when the whole time they screwing over you, that's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And there's nothing I can do about that because that's a psychological problem, right? So you have to get a different level of help. But for this right here, for the rest of you, again, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we're going to talk about this and we're going to come up with at least like 3 to 4 things that we can agree on how the money can be spent. Another thing, I need somebody from the business community to definitely be there because they're talking about $26 million was the original proposal for small businesses, and I cannot remember. They wanted to increase that amount. I'm okay with putting millions of dollars into small businesses in Detroit, but I need us to make sure, number one, that these dollars actually benefit legacy Detroit-owned businesses, but more importantly, we have some people who own businesses in the city of Detroit and live here, and they're not being shown any love at all. So before they give the money to the business owners who live in the suburbs, I'm just saying, since the suburbs has already got money, can we at least give preference to our people who live here and own a business here? That would be nice. Or some of the legacy businesses that have been around, and even though they tried to push them out, they were able to sustain. But let's put our people first. Let's prioritize how these dollars are spent. So, I definitely support that. I support helping these businesses because, sometimes you just get tired of not recognizing any of these faces around here. It's cool, you know what I mean, to bring in some fresh blood, some new people or whatever, but it's nothing like saying, man, I've been going to this business for so-and-so years. I mean, he been or she's been, out here hustling. Like, remember the man, I'm just telling you, like the man used to sell hot dogs down there in front of the city county building. Like, it means something to us Detroiters to be able to say, I remember you when. And I'm not against the new business owners, especially those who live here in Detroit. I'm just saying, let's try to take care of some of our people first. We'll never get this much money again. I don't think so. Not in any of our lifetimes. I really don't. It's $1 billion. They're not even telling you about the 180 million in addition to the 870 million. They're not even telling you about that. They never talk about it, right? And that money was supposed to go directly into neighborhoods. How do they just get to control the narrative when it even said it in the paper? The cat been out the bag that we supposed to get another. I think the money is already here, that other 180 million. Remember how I told y'all that first wave of money was here, and I was right. That 424 million was already here before they told us. And I believe the same thing about that 180 million. But it's a couple of things you really need to get serious about thinking about today. Is what you deserve, what you're worth. And you want to know what Duggan gonna do about having this officer to lead the water department. I just want to know what other city allows this. You got an ex-Detroit police officer leading the water department. Okay. See how that work out for you? We told you that was bull crap in the first place, but I know some of y'all, you just love you some Gary. Yes, you do. And whatever Duggan say is okay. Oh, where the chief of staff at for Duggan? Y'all ain't seen her not one time. Not one time, but you paying her salary. This is another thing. I know I said the last thing. This really is the last. Well, 2 more last things. One, that new chief of staff, that white woman who took over for Alexis Wiley, that Trisha lady, you haven't seen her anywhere, but you paying that salary. And she been there for months. Right? And then Don't y'all notice Chief Craig resigned as chief of police? Did he resign as deputy director? Or is he still getting money? Because technically, Conrad Mallett is only supposed to be the deputy mayor, excuse me, around the COVID issue. Remember? Nobody ever said that Chief Craig resigned as deputy mayor. So is he still getting that check? I'm just telling y'all about how they waste money and city council keep approving it, right? I just want you to start thinking about that stuff. So I'll see some of you tomorrow at 2:00. I know I already got some inboxes and some texts. So I'm going to send y'all the link, or if you want to come in person to get some more detailed information, that's fine as well. I'll send you the address and everything. And for all of you spies or whatever, we'll give you something to listen to. But some of you going to get kicked out the meeting when we recognize you. And that's just the way it's going to be. You can like it or love it or lump it. I don't care. But we need to get serious about this money. We have to have some clear, explicit demands. And whatever comes out of this meeting, we will be submitting a proposal, an official proposal to the city, telling them that this is what we want. And there are some other things that we are going to do after that we'll discuss amongst ourselves right afterwards. So y'all try to stay dry. Let me find out who's going around. I know New Era Detroit used to go around and help to shovel snow and stuff like that. And I don't know if we have any organizations, especially for our seniors. If y'all know any seniors who are cannot get out of their homes and have all of this flooding, let me know, because I'm about to work on to find out who's going to people's houses to try to help them, especially our seniors. This is just, it's disgusting, actually. So be safe out there. I love y'all, and I will see some of you Sunday, and then the rest of you Monday right back here at 8:00. Be safe.